Okay, hi everyone. I'm Heather Greer, adjunct at ITP and proud member of the class of 1994. So I guess you all might be wondering why I want to talk about the dodo and the eagle today, or all of you maybe. But the reason is that for at least the first half of my life, I felt equal parts dodo and eagle. And what I mean by eagle, or my eagle self, was really the things that I had going for me. You know, like my interest in storytelling and my interest in other people and other cultures. For example, like when I was 17, I volunteered at a psychiatric hospital in the West Indies and sat with patients who had no visitors. At 19, I lived in Rwanda and did computer training with local staff. And at 21, I had a George Soros fellowship to teach English just after the Velvet Revolution. So I had all those things going for me. But the problem was that I also had this really deep dodo side. That's what I like to call it. And the dodo side was, you know, this kind of thing that often paralyzed me, filled me with fear, made me think that life wasn't going to work out in some way. And really, when I got into that mode, I felt like this. I was a hot mess. That's just the truth. And so, you know, from this place, these fears didn't come from nowhere. These fears were woven into the fabric of my family. And before I was born, my mother's sisters, who were all, by all accounts, highly together, highly functioning, wonderful people, committed suicide. And then when I was 18, my also highly functioning, very functioning mother had a mental breakdown. So I'm not sure if I was going to end up going down that same path, but I can say that by the time I got to ITP, I had really I was sort of tired of and from living and creating from the place that I did. And so, although I came to ITP to really explore and develop, you know, new ways of storytelling, I also came to ITP, I just realized in doing this talk, to build a new operating system for myself, you know? And when I really think about the value of ITP, I think of this as such an amazing community of, you know, technologists and innovators and artists, and they're all working together to develop new and better models for themselves and other people. And that is the image I feel of how it feels to be at ITP. We're working together to do amazing things. And I can say that much of what I learned at ITP, both as a teacher and as a student, allowed me to build the system. And my environmental husband likes to say that I have successfully converted from a fossil fuel-based system to one that is powered by a more renewable source of energy. It's true. And with that source of energy, what's wonderful is that I can be fully involved in what I'm doing without really worrying about what may or may not happen in the future. And as an example of one of the projects that's come out of this kind of amazing process, I thought to share a film that I made called Voices That Heal, which is about a woman named Erlinda Augustine, who is a medicine woman, or was a medicine woman, from the Shipibo culture of Peru. In 2009, I met a Peruvian documentary filmmaker named Delia Ackerman, and she was developing projects on women healers of Latin America. And she asked me if I'd be interested in working with her on this project. And I agreed, and long story short, we decided to focus on the story of Erlinda. And one of the really beautiful things about Erlinda is that her culture has songs at the root of their living and their healing. You know, they literally have songs woven into their clothing and painted onto their buildings. The way I like to say it is that they can actually sing their skirts. You know, they wrap their homes in songs of protection. You know, how this hasn't been an ITP project completely, I'm not totally sure why, but that was sort of an amazing thing to me. And Erlinda herself actually had cervical cancer when we were filming her, and we didn't know if she was going to live or die, but she did end up dying. But one night, towards the end of our filming, she shared with us the following words. She said, from the Shipibo culture's perspective, everything in the world itself, was born of a song. And if there's trouble within a person, if there's a problem within an individual, the role of the medicine woman is to unblock the song. And as I sat there at night in the middle of the Amazon, I thought, passionate about. She's really trying, to help get people out of their way and help them create new and better models of themselves. So I guess what's amazing about this, since I can definitely tell you, and I can safely tell you that making a documentary about, an art house documentary about a medicine woman with cervical cancer is not the most obvious professional choice. But what's amazing about this and what was really extraordinary is that it had a huge life in the international festival circuit. It was selected by the Film Commission of the government of Peru to be represented in the second largest film festival in Latin America. And what's really special to me is that this film was so respected by the different anthropologists and indigenous workers that it is now being used in universities all around the world to help connect students to the indigenous communities of Peru. And so I'll just close by saying that I heard once of a medicine woman who said, "Do you think that the medicine people have special powers?" And to their students, and the students said, "Well, yes, of course, they must have." And the wise medicine person said, "No, they just knew how to listen." So with that, I say thank you for listening. Happy birthday, ITP.